po ba kanina mga kababayan, di ba yung third impeachment, kasi yun lang naman na nakapasok at saka yung fourth impeachment complaint laban po kay Sara Duterte. Ngayon, hinimay po yung mga grounds mga kababayan. At yung pang-apat na grounds, pakitama na lamang po ko kung ako po ay mali, yun yung isa sa mga nakikita po natin na talagang isa sa pinakamabigat nakakaharapin po ni Sara Duterte dahil maliwanag doon mga kababayan yung pagbabanta po sa buhay ni First Lady, ni PBBM at saka po ni former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. At doon nga mga kababayan sa pagkakataon na yon, nung dinidiscuss na po ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima yung mga grounds mga kababayan, tila nahihirapan ng ipagtanggol ni Bong Suntay eto pong si Sara Duterte. Kaya may lumabas po sa bibig ni Bong Suntay mga kababayan na hindi dapat. So ngayon, eto, pakinggan po natin mga kababayan yung tinutukoy ko po sa inyo about po dito sa nangyaring hearing mga kababayan ng Committee on Justice patungkol po dito sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Eto, pakinggan po natin mga kababayan.
There are no other members who wish to manifest on the third ground. Do you have additional rejoinder on this, Honorable de Lima, for the third ground?
Just to
Before we shift to the fourth.
Yan. Yung fourth ground mga kababayan, yun yung isa sa pinakamabigat. Kasi maliwanag po yung ebidensya. At saka take note mga kababayan may mga public knowledge yan dahil nakita po yan ng sambayan ng Pilipino at napanood ng taong bayan kung paano siya magbanta na may nakalakip pa nga na no joke. No joke, hindi siya nagbibiro.
just to emphasize the point that it is a matter, again, of defense. Those points, those arguments put forth by the Honorable Suntay, and talagang sufficiency in substance pa ito. And tama po, sinabi ni Honorable Congressman Chua, that we can still attach additional evidence sa mga pleadings na ipa-file in proper time if there has been a determination already that the complaint is sufficient in substance. Thank you.
We know the manifestation of the honorable endorser. That concludes our deliberation on the third ground. Now we are proceeding to the fourth ground. Please allow the chair to read. Vice President Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayed the public trust, and committed high crimes in contracting to murder or assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. At this juncture, we shall hear the manifestation of the honorable endorser. Honorable de Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Kasi sa totoo lang mga kababayan, ito pong ground number 4. Yun yung pagbabanta ni Sara Duterte sa buhay ni PBBM, ni First Lady, at saka po ni former House Speaker Martin Romualdez mga kababayan. At dito maliwanag naman talaga yung ebidensya. Ano po na kung saan talagang sinabi ni Sara Duterte, kahit pa sinasabi ng mga DD-shit, na mga taga-suporta ni Sara, na conditional threat yan, para sa atin mga kababayan, dati pa naman nating sinasabi, threat pa rin yan, pagbabanta pa rin yan. Ano po, at minsan ang nangyari at napatutuhanan na kahit sinasabing conditional threat, nangyayari po talaga. Ano po, once mga kababayan, na talagang hindi pinansin katulad ng nangyari doon po kay Governor Digamo. Ano po, base po sa paliwanag ng kanyang may bahay na kung saan nakatanggap ng pagbabanta at hindi sineryoso mga kababayan, kahit pa sinasabing conditional, yung threat, kaya kita nyo kung ano yung kinahinatnan at ano yung nangyari. Ano po, so ngayon, ito, ituloy pa natin.
So this is about the threats of assassination hurled by the Vice President, the second highest official of the land, directed at the President himself, the First Lady, and the House Speaker. Napakalinaw po nitong allegation na ito. Dahil nga po, nakita natin yung pagbigay ng threats na yan to assassinate those three officials or those three personalities. So it was clearly alleged in the complaint na sa isang media briefing, sa isang viral video.
Ay, shoutout kay Ma'am Dolly Baby sa pakisabi po kay Tatay Marcos, kay Nanay Emma, magandang gabi po sa kanila ha.
Hayagang sinabi ni VP Sara na nakipag-usap siya sa isang assassin at inutusan itong patayin si Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. At sa halip na bawiin ang pahayag, kinumpirma pa niya na nakausap nga niya ang isang taong may kakayahang gawin ang kanyang pagbabanta. Kinumpirma niya yan sa isang media interview. So these are paragraphs 100 and paragraphs 105. The core ultimate fact alleged here, Madam Chair, is that instead of resorting to lawful remedies, she contracted an assassin. The vice president contracted an assassin to kill the president, the first lady, and the former speaker, alleging conspiratorial violence against the highest officials of the land. Assuming these allegations are true, and how can that be disputed? There is a video, there are clippings, and there is a video duly authenticated by the NBI, which formed the basis actually of the filing of cases for inciting.
Sabi ni pare-parehas kayo, wala na daw maniniwala sa inyo. Siguro naniniwala ka kay Sara Duterte. Pero dito kami mas maniniwala sa video na authenticate na ng NBI at napatunayan na totoo talaga at nasaksihan ng hindi lang libu-libong mga kababayang Pilipino po natin, kung hindi, buong kababayang Pilipino po natin ang nakasaksi dyan saan mang sulok ng mundo. Napanood yan. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
To sedition. So, klaro po ito na they constitute high crimes and betrayal of public trust of the gravest constitutional magnitude. So, bakit culpable violation of the Constitution? Ang pakikipagsabwatan upang ipapatay ang Pangulo, ang unang ginang at ang dating speaker, ay hindi isang simpleng political rhetoric lang.
Tama.
Kung ipagpapalagay na totoo, ito ay hindi simpleng pagbabanta lamang. This is a willful breach of her duty. That is the very definition of willful constitutional betrayal. Kung sanay sila sa pagbabanta, sa pag-utos o pakikipagsabwatan, sa pagpatay ng tao, hindi ito dapat pinagsasawalang bahala. Dapat itong panagutin sa batas. VP Sara's oath of office is not ceremonial. It is a constitutional commitment to uphold lawful processes, maintain peace and order, and protect the stability of the Republic. At bakit naman po maituturing itong other high crimes? Ang other high crimes ay tumutukoy sa mga gawaing may mabigat na epekto sa maayos na pagpapatakbo ng pamahalaan. Kung totoo ang alegasyon ng sabuatan upang patayin ang mga pinakamataas na opisyal ng bansa, ito ay magdudulot ng kaguluhan sa constitutional succession, panganib sa pambansang seguridad at kawalang katatagan sa pamahalaan. This is perhaps no clearer example of an offense that strikes at the orderly working of government. Even without a criminal conviction, such an allegation, if admitted, squarely falls within the constitutional concept of other high crimes. At bakit naman po betrayal of public trust? Kung totoo na ang respondent ay nais gumamit ng dahas para patahimikin o mapatalsik ang mga leader ng pamahalaan, pagyurak ito sa kaayusang konstitusyonal. This is betrayal of public trust in its most severe form. Hindi na dapat manatili.
Tsaka tandaan nyo mga kababayan kung sa normal na pamumuhay ng mga normal nating kababayang Pilipino, yung hindi politiko at normal na tao lang, di ba halimbawa kapag nakagalit niya yung kanyang kapitbahay tapos nagbanta yung kapitbahay laban sa kanya at nagsampa yung kapitbahay niya ng grave threat mga kababayan, malaki po ang tsansa na yung nagbanta, kung mapapatunayang nagbanta talaga, malaki ang tsansa mga kababayan na makulong. Yun talaga mga kababayan na nangyayari sa tunay na pamumuhay. Lalo na kapag normal na mga kababayang Pilipino po natin ang pinag-uusapan. So ngayon, si Sara Duterte, alam naman natin mga kababayan na once na may mangyari kay PBBM, siya po talaga yung papalit sa presidente kasi nga siya ang vice-presidente. Ngayon, yung kanyang naging attitude mga kababayan, yung kanyang naging asta, at yung mga sinabi niya publicly na pagbabanta at sinabi niya, kinumpirma niya, kumausap siya ng isang assassin para itumba ang presidente, yon maliwanag mga kababayan na talagang pwede po ma-impeach itong si Sara Duterte at pagsira po yan sa tiwala ng mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Dahil maliwanag naman maliwanag naman na may video kung saan po niya sinabi yon at maliwanag din mga kababayan na nakita at nasaksihan yan ng mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Anyway, ituloy pa natin.
Sa posisyon ang ganitong mag-isip. So, the allegations are clear. The evidence is there. The video is available. The video is of public knowledge.
Yan.
The fact of that threat of assassination has reached the level or the status of notoriety na maraming nakakita. Tayo,
Tama.
nakita natin yung video na yan, lantaran na nagbanta against the President, the First Lady, and the House Speaker. So malakas po ito, former House Speaker, malakas po itong ground na ito. And I suppose the video is ready to play.
All right, so since our endorser is mentioning about the video, with the indulgence of the members,
Tsaka malupit dito mga kababayan, kita nyo kahit pinagtutulong-tulungan siya ng ibang mga DDS at congressman, talagang kalmado lang. Si former Senator Laila de Lima na ngayon ay kongresista na sa paglalatag mga kababayan ng mga substantial na aligasyon unang-una, at pangalawa mga kababayan yung talagang mga matitibay na video na kung saan nakakomit talaga ng pagkakamali si Vice President, lalo na dito sa grounds number 4 mga kababayan ng kanyang impeachment complaint laban sa kanya. Anyway, ituloy pa natin.
we will be suspending for the Secretariat to prepare for the presentation of the video.
Vice President Sara stated that she has talked to an assassin and had instructed him to kill President Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives. To continue, in paragraph 105, it states here, instead of retracting what she said, Vice President Sara admittedly owned her previous statement. On November 26, 2024, she publicly confirmed that she had indeed talked to a person who could assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former House of Representatives Speaker. A reporter said, "So, but you already talked to a person?" Vice President Sara said, "Yes." To do that in the event that you are killed? And Vice President Sara said, "Yes, yes, yes." It is my position that the threats were conditional is inconsequential, and that the mere act of engaging an assassin, as stated in the complaint, is opposed to her oath, and that the mere act of uttering these statements is already impeachable because at the very least, it amounts to a betrayal of public trust, aside from all of the offenses charged in the impeachment complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Suntay.
Pagtatanggol na naman ni Suntay mga kababayan. Pakinggan nyo.
Madam Chair, the complaint alleges that the respondent declared that she had arranged for a person to kill the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker if she herself were killed. The complaint alleges a public statement, but it does not allege the existence of an actual agreement to kill. There is not even an overt act in furtherance of such agreement. Any constituting conspiracy or attempted murder. Kasi yung alleged gunman, hindi man lang natin na-present. Now, let's go to the doctrine of free speech.
Nahihirapan ka ba, Congressman Bong Suntay, na ipagtanggol si Sara Duterte? Lalo na't may video na nasaksihan ng napakarami nating kababayang Pilipino. Alam nyo mga kababayan, kahit pa sabihin na yung pagbabanta ni Sara Duterte ay ginawa publicly, at kahit pinapalabas ni Suntay na kung ikaw ay magpapatumba ng tao, hindi mo na i-announce pa, at napatahimik ka na lang, parang ganun yung sinasabi niya, tandaan nyo mga kababayan, maliwanag yung sinabi ni Sara Duterte. Kahit pa sabihin na conditional threat yan. Diba ang pagkakasabi niya, kung may mangyaring masama sa kanya, kumausap na siya ng assassin. Ngayon, alam nyo naman mga kababayan, na may mga lumalabas na balita before na minsan ang ginawa ni Sara Duterte ng masama yung kanyang sarili. Di po ba mga kababayan, paano kung may mangyari pala kay Sara Duterte, tapos wala namang kinalaman doon yung mga taong pinupunteriya po niya? O di kawawa naman yung mga tao na nasa listahan niya na gusto niyang ipatumba mga kababayan. Di po ba? Kaya kahit pasabihin ni Bong Suntay mga kababayan, yung mga kataga na dapat kung ikaw ay magpapaano ng tao ay hindi mo na ipapublic pa, hindi mo na i-announce pa, maliwanag nga mga kababayan na unang-una sinabi ni Sara Duterte na kumausap siya ng assassin at hindi siya nagbibiro. 3 beses niya sinabi yung salitang no joke. Ibig sabihin, seryoso siya at totoo yung sinasabi niya.
Which guarantees free speech and free press do not permit a state to forbid or prescribe the advocacy of the use of force or of law violation except where such advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Advocacy of violence or law breaking is protected unless it is directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to produce such action. That was stated in Salonga versus Cruz Panyo, 134 Scra 438. Now, kung makikita rin natin dun sa statement ni dun sa video, and I'm glad that it was flashed on screen, which kasi in fact dapat nga hindi because it would be premature. As I mentioned, the video is not part of the complaint, but okay lang na ipakita natin diyan because it brings back yung ano natin yung pag-aalala sa mga yan. The VP said that she hired someone to kill. If she herself was killed, lo and behold, they are both alive. So
Oh, wait lang mga kababayan ano ko pala, napindot ko pala. Ito pala yung video.
The meeting is resumed. The Secretariat is directed to play the video.
Pakinggan nyo muna yung video Ayan
sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romales. No joke. No joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes. Huwag ka mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya,
Ayan
So
diba,
may we
diba mga kababayan, mahirap po talagang iano yan. Mahirap po talaga mga kababayan sa totoo lang na talagang itanggi-tanggi pa yan.
request the
Diba?
Honorable Endorser to confirm if that is the same video that she is referring to.
Yes, Madam Chair.
All right, so that is for the record. We showed the video for the guidance of the justice members in the determination of sufficiency in substance. Are there members who wish to comment or manifest with respect to the fourth ground of impeachment or in relation to the video just presented?
of force
Balik tayo dito kay Suntay mga kababayan.
or of law violation, except where such advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Advocacy of violence or law breaking is protected unless it is directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to produce such action. That was stated in Salonga versus Cruz Panyo, 134 Scra 438. Now, kung makikita rin natin dun sa statement ni dun sa video, and I'm glad that it was flashed on screen, which kasi in fact dapat nga hindi because it would be premature. As I mentioned, the video is not part of the complaint, but okay lang na ipakita natin diyan because it brings back yung ano natin yung pag-aalala sa mga yan. The VP said that she hired someone to kill. If she herself was killed, lo and behold, they are both alive. So ibig sabihin walang overt action which was done. You know, sometimes when I go home late, my wife always threatens to kill me.
Hindi kasi iba kasi eto tandaan nyo mga kababayan hindi pwedeng ikumpara ni Suntay yung sinabi ni Sara Duterte, yung ginawa niyang pagbabanta publicly, dahil mga kababayan, unang-una alam naman natin na yung pagkakasabi ni Sara Duterte yon ay paraan din ng pamumulitika po niya. Ano po, dahil nga, kung sakali na may mangyaring masama sa presidente, siya po yung successor ng presidente, siya po yung papalit dahil siya ang vice-presidente. Ngayon, yung asawa naman po ni Bong Suntay, hindi naman po politiko yon. Di po ba mga kababayan? Hindi naman po politiko yung asawa ni Bong Suntay at yun po ay private citizen. Kaya hindi niya pwedeng ikumpara yung sinasabi ng kanyang asawa sa kanya na itutumba siya mga kababayan dahil late siyang umuwi. Magkaiba po yun dahil alam naman po natin na kung ano man yung magiging epekto ng pagbabanta ni Sara Duterte sa presidente kung sakali may mangyaring masama sa presidente ay malaki din ang epekto sa Pilipinas mga kababayan sa ating bansa. Ano po, anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Sabi sa akin ng asawa ko, papatayin kita na umaga ka na naman umuwi. And you know, my wife is the queen of our home, and she is highly respected by everyone in our household. But you know, I'm still alive, and my wife only kills me with love. Common sense dictates that if you are really serious in killing someone, you do not announce it to the whole world. Why would you announce that you will kill someone if you really intend to kill someone? Common sense dictates otherwise. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Ayan, kita nyo pahiya to dito.
Honorable Abante.
due respect to Congressman Suntay, I do not know if he is lawyering with for the Vice President. Because I would even think that he is right now defending her. Pero ito
Oh, kasi halatang halata naman mga kababayan, na talagang ipinagtatanggol ni Bong Suntay mga kababayan, ito pong si Sara Duterte. Di ba, naandyan na yung video. Maliwanag na yung video mga kababayan kung saan nagbabanta si Vice President Sara Duterte. Nakakapagtaka dito mga kababayan, kita na nga ni Bong Suntay na mali na yung sinabi doon ng Vice President. Abay, ipinagtatanggol niya pa. Parang ang dating kinukonsinti niya pa. Di po ba mga kababayan?
you have seen the video. Whether it be that he is joking, that's between him, between her, diba? Thing is this, that amounts to a credible threat against the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker. That is not political noise, just like what he's saying about his wife.
Tama.
What he's saying about his wife is only political noise.
No, but my wife
But
is
that
not a
is not
politician.
political noise, Madam Chair. That is a red flag for national stability and constitutional order. Why?
Tama.
The Vice President is not a private citizen. The wife of Congressman Suntay is a private citizen, but not the Vice President. The office of the Vice President carries access, influence, and security resources.
Isa pa yon. Diba? Yung opisina ni Vice President Sara Duterte, malaki po talagang impluensya. Yung mga sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte, malaki po talagang impluensya niyan. Yung sinasabi naman po ng asawa ni Congressman Bong Suntay, mga kababayan, sila lang dalawang mag-asawa nagkakaintindihan doon. Di po ba? At walang ibang may impluensyahan nun, mga kababayan, kung hindi si Bong Suntay na lamang. Nasa sa kanya na yon. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
That is why the standard for public trust is higher, not lower, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair.
Doon talaga sablay na sablay.
The Honorable
si Bong
Adjong.
Suntay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And then Honorable Degamo.
Very, very short manifestation regarding the video. The whole nation was aware of this video, actually, Madam Chair. It came out during a press conference that the Vice President called for when Attorney Zulaika was in detention in the House of Representatives. My take on that, Madam Chair, is you can argue on whether a crime is being consummated or not, because some say that it has not been fully implemented, and so therefore the crime is not committed itself.
Tama
To me,
din.
Madam Chair, I know how a layman would understand that is it does not take one particular threat to be consummated, meaning to be implemented, for it to constitute a betrayal of public trust. The mere fact, Madam Chair, that it was uttered by a sitting Vice President to threaten a sitting President and claim that she had contracted an assassin to do her bidding is in itself an impeachable act.
Totoo.
It's in itself a
Maliwanag.
betrayal of public trust, Madam Chair. So whether or not it was said in jest, whether or not there was an intention, because it's conditional according to some, whether there was not really an intention, except, for example, that she herself was killed. So that's irrelevant to me, Madam Chair, because the fact that it was said, the threat was said by an official who needs to uphold a high standard of, the demand of her office should be upheld in such a high standard. Would to me fall under the category of a betrayal of public trust. That is my humble submission, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, on the very.
Alam nyo kasi mga kababayan, ang pinaka-point lang naman dito, dapat kung ikaw ay sitting Vice President, dapat maingat ka sa mga sinasabi mo. Ngayon, hindi pwede yung basta ka magbabanta ng buhay ng nakaupong presidente. Maliwanag talaga mga kababayan na impeachable offense yan. Kahit pasabihin ng mga taga-suporta ni Sara Duterte na conditional threat yan. Tandaan nyo, threat pa rin yan, pagbabanta pa rin yan.
On the issue of the video that just flashed, it's played on the monitor, Madam Chair, Your Honors. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable Adjong. At this juncture, we recognize the Honorable Degamo.
Yan.
Yes, Madam
Dito mga kababayan, pahiya din ng matindi itong si Suntay. Makinig kayo. Kasi ito yung isang patunay eh.
Chair. I would like to speak from a personal experience.
Oh.
My husband the late Governor Degamo, before he was murdered, by the way, we will be remembering his third death anniversary tomorrow. That's March 4. He received threats before he was tragically murdered. The threats at first were conditional.
Yan.
Like, if you do this, something will happen. But then, even though they were conditional, the fear and intimidation they cause were very real.
Isang patunay dito mga kababayan nung una daw, conditional threat, yung naging banta kay Governor Digamo, Orwell Digamo mga kababayan, na kapag ka ginawa mo tong ganito o ginawa mo yung ganyan, may mangyayaring hindi maganda. And then mga kababayan, isinawalang bahala po yun. Ipagpalagay natin, isinawalang bahala, allegedly, ni Governor Orwell Digamo. And then kita nyo naman kung ano yung kinahantungan, kung ano yung nangyari mga kababayan. Kaya nga kahit pasabihin nila na conditional threat yan, still a threat. Pagbabanta pa rin po yan. Ano po, anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Conditional threats can turn into actual harm.
Tama.
Nangyari po yun sa amin. In the same way, when the VP reportedly made statements implying harm to the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker,
Sabi ni Ma'am Elsa Brillante, nandiyan yung Zamora namin. Oo nga eh. Alam nyo, nagagandahan nga ako doon kay Zamora, pero hindi naman tayo katulad ni Mong Suntay.
those statements are serious, even if phrased as conditional. Kasi words from someone in her position carry weight. It can intimidate other officials, it can influence decision, and even undermine public trust. That is why, in impeachment terms, such conditional threats are considered sufficient in substance. It's not just the wording that matters, it's the effect and potential for harm, especially when the speaker holds high office. Just as in my family's experience, conditional threats really must be taken seriously.
Tama.
Gusto ko lang pong idagdag. The legal connection there talks about a threat does not have to be absolute or immediate to be serious. What matters is its potential impact, especially if the speaker holds power. Conditional threats can intimidate or coerce. Even a statement that starts with if can pressure officials or institutions to act a certain way. And high office makes it more serious. Maybe words from ordinary people may be limited in effect, but threats from a person who is holding a national leadership post carry far-reaching consequences. Kaya nga po, public office demands higher standards of behavior. Yun yung nire-require sa atin. Dahil if wrongly handled, and I must admit, my husband must have wrongly handled the situation back then that resulted now to his third-year anniversary still waiting for justice to be served. Yan lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Digamo. Next in line is Madam
Diba?
Endorser. Can we finish first the manifestations of the justice members before we go back to you?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Ngayon mga kababayan, kita nyo ha, kung ano yung kinahantungan nung binaliwala, yung conditional threat na sinasabi mga kababayan. Diba, humantong sa point na ngayon, third anniversary na ng pagkawala mga kababayan ni Governor Orwell Digamo. So ngayon, ang aral dito, hindi mo pwedeng baliwalain yung pagbabanta lalo na kung galing sa Vice President na hindi nag-iisip ng tama. Alam niyo po yung pinupoint natin mga kababayan, alam naman po natin na pangalawang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas si Vice President. At talagang yung salita niya mga kababayan, hindi pwedeng pagtawanan yan at hindi rin pwede na baliwalain yan o hindi seryosohin lalo na at isa po siya sa politiko na may pinakamataas na posisyon dito po sa ating bansa. Kung anong gusto niyang gawin, magagawa po niya dahil siya ay Vice President ng Republika ng Pilipinas. So yan po yung pinupoint dyan Kaya kahit pasabihin ng mga taga-suporta ni Sara, no, wag niyong seryosohin yan. Ano yan, conditional threat yan. Hindi naman magagawa ni Vice President yan. Tandaan nyo mga kababayan, kapag ang isang tao ay may pagkautak kriminal, pero hindi ko naman sinasabi na si Vice President yon, eh magagawa niya kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin, lalo na kung galit siya dun sa tao na pinagbantaan niya.